Only a few months ago Bill Shorten would have thought that if he won the election he'd be delivering same-sex marriage and a royal commission into the banks early in his government. Now Malcolm Turnbull is bringing us both, in each case, his hand forced by a different group of rebel backbenchers. The marriage bill, which will go through the House of Representatives next week, has some disgruntled Conservatives arcing up after the Senate rejected their amendments, but Turnbull will mark it down as one of the achievements of his prime ministership. It's another matter with the Banking Royal Commission. Seldom is a government's impotence and frustration as much on display as it was when Turnbull finally capitulated and announced on Thursday that the government would establish the inquiry it has so long resisted and denounced. For quite a time political hardheads had been arguing the government should accept the inevitable and own an inquiry. Well, now it does, and what a reluctant owner it is, miserable and bitter. Turnbull and Treasurer Scott Morrison lamented that setting up the Royal Commission, which covers superannuation and insurance providers as well as banking, was regrettable but necessary, driven by the political circumstances in which they found themselves. In the end, there wasn't a choice. The bad result for the Liberal National Party in Saturday's Queensland election strengthened the hand and determination of the rebel Federal Nationals, intent on pushing Barry O'Sullivan's private senator's bill for Parliament to set up a commission of inquiry. Two lower house Nationals, George Christensen and Lou O'Brien, were willing to cross the floor to give the bill the numbers there. In the background, Nationals leader Barnaby Joyce, on the New England campaign trail, was not resisting the flow. Joyce judged that if the issue reached the Nationals' party room, the commission would get support. The Nationals also knew an inquiry had strong public backing, a point underlined by an Essential poll this week showing 64% wanted a royal commission. That included 62% of coalition voters. The banks themselves came to accept that opposition had become too costly. In their Thursday letter to the government, flagged late Wednesday, advocating a properly constituted inquiry, the chairman and chief executives of the four major banks said it was in the national interest for the political uncertainty to end. It is hurting confidence in our financial services system, including in offshore markets, and has diminished trust and respect for our sector and people, they wrote. As Australian Bankers Association Chief Executive Anna Bligh, a former Queensland Labor Premier, put it bluntly, it was too big a risk to have an inquiry where the terms of reference and choice of commissioner were in the hands of minor parties and fringe elements of the Parliament. On Tuesday and Wednesday, O'Sullivan, Turnbull and senior ministers sparred over the issue. O'Sullivan, a tough ex-cop from Queensland, says the government didn't try to get him to drop his bill. Rather, it was attempting to manage time.